Saudi and China revived discussions for a multi-billion-dollar refinery, and Qatar to host its gas exporting countries forum as worries mount over supply disruptions. You're watching the Daily Brief with Forbes. I'm Ramia Faraj. Aramco has reportedly revived discussions to build a multi-billion-dollar refining and petrochemicals complex in China. Talks over what was meant to be a $10 billion deal stopped in 2020 as oil crashed at the onset of the pandemic. Saudi-China ties have strengthened as Beijing's thirst for oil grows along with its economy. The kingdom was the biggest supplier of crude to China last year. Qatar will host the 6th gas exporting countries forum this month as Europe continues to be wary over supply disruptions. Russia and Iran are among the prominent participants at the GECF summit, which will include ministerial meetings. The group, however, excludes two other major gas exporters, the US and Australia. The GECF says 18 members and associate nations account for 70% of global gas reserves and 51% of LNG. BP has posted its highest numbers in 8 years, with 2021 profit at $12.8 billion. This compares to a net loss of $5.7 billion in 2020. In Q4, BP posted $4.1 billion in profit, exceeding analyst expectations of $3.9 billion. The results are on the back of soaring energy and electricity prices due to tight oil and natural gas supplies and rising demand as economies bounce back from the pandemic. Pfizer expects 2022 sales for its COVID-19 vaccine to total $32 billion. It also anticipates another $22 billion from sales of its oral antiviral pill. Pfizer plans to produce 4 billion doses of the vaccine this year, compared with 3 billion last year. Its 2022 revenues are expected to be between $98 billion and $102 billion. SoftBank Group's net profit for the 9 months to December 2021 plunged 87% to $3.4 billion. Profits also fell 97% to $252 million in Q4 2021 due to massive losses on investments. The figure marks a record decline from the $10.2 billion profit registered for the same quarter of 2020. Tech stocks have been rocked in China as regulators heighten their crackdown against the country's growing tech corporates. Billionaire Sunil Mittal's telecom firm Bharti Airtel posted a 2.8% decline in Q3 net income to $111.1 million. This came despite the tariff hikes announced during the period in hopes of boosting the company's finances. Bharti's Airtel third quarter revenue, however, rose 13.4% to $3.9 billion, driven by strong demand for data, connectivity-related solutions, and emerging businesses. Let's take a look now at today's Forbes Real-Time Billionaires ranking. It tracks the daily ups and downs of the world's richest people. Here are today's winners. Our biggest winner today is Jeff Bezos, up $3.5 billion with net wealth of $187.3 billion. Trailing closely behind in second place is Elon Musk, up $3.3 billion with $239.3 billion in net wealth. And our third place winner is e-commerce billionaire Collins Heng Huang, up $2.4 billion with net wealth of $21.2 billion. Check out our website and social media for all of the latest Billionaires news. Singapore-headquartered Livespace has hit unicorn status after a $180 million funding round led by KKR. Livespace is an omni-channel home interior and renovation platform. The funds will be used for strategic investments in innovative companies to help them scale and grow faster. Livespace also plans to launch in new markets and build its brand in India and Singapore. Boeing delivered 32 aircraft last month, its lowest rate in 3 months. After suspending production of the 787 Dreamliner, Boeing has been unable to capitalize on the recovery in air travel. It also cost the plane maker $4.5 billion in Q4 in charges and penalties for delayed deliveries. Boeing hasn't been able to keep up with Airbus's deliveries for the third year in a row. The European Commission has launched an investment plan for the semiconductor sector to make Europe a leader in the market. The EU Chips Act will mobilize $49 billion of both public and private investment. The goal is to double Europe's market share of chips production to 20% in 2030 from the current 9%. The EU wants to increase its resilience to future crises by anticipating and avoiding supply chain disruptions. Oscar nominations are in, and they're full of the usual snubs and surprises. Titles like The Power of the Dog and Dune received their expected nods. Others, like Cruella, were surprisingly nominated, and some anticipated Oscar nods, like House of Gucci, were completely ignored, except for the makeup and hairstyling category.
It was a name that sounded so sweet.
You're watching The Daily Brief. I'm Ramya Faraj. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.